The Philippine-American War, which lasted from 1899 to 1902, was a complex and often overlooked chapter in both Philippine and American history. It emerged in the wake of the Spanish-American War of 1898, which saw the United States gain control of the Philippines from Spain. Initially, many Filipinos welcomed the Americans as liberators from Spanish colonial rule. However, tensions soon arose as it became clear that the United States intended to assert its own colonial authority over the islands. The Philippine leader Emilio Aguinaldo, who had led the fight against the Spanish, declared independence on June 12, 1898, but the United States refused to recognize this sovereignty. As negotiations between American and Filipino leaders broke down, skirmishes erupted, leading to open conflict in February 1899. The Filipino forces, largely composed of guerrilla fighters, initially scored some victories against the better-equipped American troops. However, the United States ultimately deployed significant military resources, including tens of thousands of soldiers, to suppress the insurgency. The war was brutal and marked by atrocities on both sides. The Americans employed tactics such as scorched earth campaigns and concentration camps to subdue Filipino resistance. Meanwhile, Filipino guerrillas launched ambushes and raids against American forces. One of the most infamous incidents of the war was the Balangiga massacre in September 1901, where Filipino insurgents attacked an American garrison in retaliation for American abuses. The Filipino fighters killed around 48 American soldiers. In response, the Americans launched a brutal counterattack, resulting in the deaths of thousands of Filipinos and the devastation of Balangiga. Despite fierce Filipino resistance, the superior firepower and resources of the United States eventually overwhelmed the insurgents. Emilio Aguinaldo was captured in 1901, leading to the collapse of organized Filipino resistance. However, sporadic fighting continued until 1902, when Aguinaldo pledged allegiance to the United States and the conflict officially ended. The Philippine-American War had far-reaching consequences for both nations. For the Philippines, it meant the end of hopes for immediate independence and the beginning of decades of American colonial rule. For the United States, it marked the first overseas war fought by American troops and raised questions about the nation's role as a colonial power. The war also left deep scars on Filipino society and contributed to a legacy of anti-American sentiment that persisted for generations.